Welcome back to Grandma Sims. Don't forget to download the show from the gallery and follow along. Let's decorate and have some fun. So today we are starting a new build. It's a unique build. This house is going to be, I would say 90% black. Black walls, black floors, black ceiling. There will be some hints of white. I think some hints of gray, and then some nice warm wood tones in some of the furniture. Now, I was inspired by this house from actually two different houses. First, I found a house in Illinois. It's an Airbnb. It is an all-black house, and you can actually go and stay there. Originally, the homeowner bought it, decorated it, and then wanted to sell it, changed his mind, and decided to turn it into an Airbnb. I believe they call it the Wednesday House now, after the popular show. So you can actually go stay in it. So I know I named this one a modern goth house. And the reason I did that was because right across the street from this one is the goth residence. But theirs is more of an older Victorian style goth house, I want to say. This one's going to be very modern, clean lines, not a lot of clutter. Just enough to feel homey and lived in. Now you might be thinking, as we're picking out a floor here, I got a couple different options for floors here. You might be thinking, ugh, an all black house. But please, give it a chance. You're gonna love it. In the end, this home is beautiful. And it is very cozy and comfy. I wouldn't mind staying there myself. Maybe someday we'll plan a trip down to Illinois and go check it out. So I'm starting here in the kitchen, obviously, but I'm also picking the colors for the house. I'm picking the black floors for the house and picking the walls. Now the walls may look gray. It was actually in the black category, so I was kind of happy with that. So this is just going to be a galley kitchen along the back wall here with the windows for looking out. And having a lot of windows in this build did help bring in a lot of natural light, and that helps with the what you would consider the darkness of the walls, but they're really not that dark. Now over here I wanted to put like a little coffee station, a little breakfast area for in the morning. I was inspired by the Airbnb that this house is based off of, and some of the pictures I looked at. So I actually built this to be not only a home for your sim to live in, but also there are two rooms that I would consider guest rooms. You can do roommates maybe, or you can rent those rooms out, or you can just have family or friends, guests come and stay in those rooms, and we'll see those rooms in another video. But that's what I was thinking. I thought we should go with the Airbnb vibe that this house is based off of. Now this house doesn't look, the shape of this house, the shell of the house, doesn't look anything like the one in Illinois, the Airbnb in Illinois that I based the colors off of. The actual shape of the house came from another house that I looked at, which was unique, and I'm not going to give that part away. until we start doing the master bedroom bathroom, and then I'll explain what drew me to this house. So all in all, this was a collaboration between a couple different articles I read and a couple different houses I looked at, and it all came together in this one beautiful house. Now I am just going with the little spotlights in the kitchen, and we do use them. I'm just making them smaller for above the counters, but in this house, I like the thought of having the ceiling cassette lights to shine down. I didn't think we needed much more than that in the kitchen. And I believe there's some lamps and things in some of the other rooms, but mostly I thought those lights in the ceiling were appropriate for this build. So all black appliances, and I really enjoyed picking like black everything. It was really fun. And I know if we're starting to do the very veggie challenge builds, and we've got a few of those, and this whole going with one color theme like this, really starting to get into it. I think it's really got a vibe to it. It has definitely expanded my building horizons, doing all these colored builds. So I wanted to make sure that the Sims could walk around, so I did just take out one of the counters for the island, just to make sure they can get around the kitchen without having to reroute. I tucked these little curtains up inside the cupboards there. I think they are adorable, and just enough. I mean, it can look like you can maybe pull them down. Maybe they're shades, or those cloth shades. You can maybe pull those down, and then just added some lighting behind them. Again, tucking that lighting away so that the room doesn't feel, too dark, but also very modern. These counters, these chairs, that very modern feeling refrigerator. I think this is like the opposite of what you would see across the street at the goth house. Of course, we're going to add some greenery. Of course, I kept the little planters that they're in, either in the black or the white, staying with our theme. It's amazing to me now that I'm doing all these different builds with all of these different colors. Black was extremely easy to find furniture and swatches and floors and walls and everything you need to build a house. You can definitely totally find in black or white in the catalog. When it came to some of the other colors, some of the other builds that we're doing in colors, that became more difficult. We don't get a lot of the colors in swatches that are cohesive with each other. When I did eggplant, I don't think they know the definition of the word or the color purple. Seriously, it's all over the place with the purple. But you can see the eggplant house, and let me know how we did. I think we did okay considering the swatches we had to work with. So like I said, I was making this into a little breakfast coffee area for the guests that are staying here. I think it turned out real cute. So with this very modern style, like I said, we kept the clutter to a minimum, which is hard for me to do because I do love to clutter. But I do think that the clutter that I did put in this one worked perfectly for this build. It was just enough, but not too much. It kept the vibe very real. And if you're going to be having roommates or guests stay here, however you want to play in this house, I think the minimalist vibe works for those conditions. Now, obviously, you could turn those 2 extra bedrooms that I have as guest bedrooms, you could totally turn those into children's bedrooms, and make this a family home, which I think would be very cool, to raise some kids here. And then you could clutter the house up more and make it more family orientated. I just didn't go that way with this build. We have plenty of builds where we're very family orientated. So I know we're just starting with the kitchen, but I hope you're gonna stick around and see the rest of the house. We've got some surprises. We've got a master bedroom and bathroom that is to die for, pardon the phrase. I think it's an amazing bathroom. I would love to have this bathroom. So hit that subscribe button and the like button and let your friends know of our new build, and stick around to see those. Which I think you're all gonna love this bathroom that's coming up in the next couple builds. So just off of the kitchen here is the dining room, and like I said, we're gonna bring in some of them warm wood tones, which I brought in these chairs, but I kept the glass table to keep the more modern vibe going on. And I think those 2 things work very well together in this dining room. I did go with the blackout curtains. It just fits what's going on with this house. Put in a bar for entertaining. Again, if you keep this as a Airbnb, that would be nice for your guests or friends and family that you have over. I'm not sure. I do think I put an actual chandelier, yes, an actual chandelier above this table. I felt it very much would be something you would see in this space because it is a dining room. But I did put the cassette lights obviously in the corners to give us the more lighting that we need. And I like this hanging chandelier here. It sticks very much with our theme. I wish it was a little bit darker than the brass color, but very acceptable in this position. Just gonna add some things around now that minimal clutter, but things that you would see in a house like this. I've only stayed in an Airbnb once, twice, maybe twice now. It's not my thing, have to say, be totally honest. Not a big fan of the Airbnb. I know people love them. I like to be in a hotel. I like to make a mess. Not a big mess. I'm not trashing the place, but I I want to be able to, when I'm done with my vacation, I want to be able to pack and my things, clean up what I need to clean up, and go home. I don't want to clean somebody's house so that it's cleaner when I left than when we got there, and cleaner than my house at home. Usually my house at home, when we leave to go on vacation, the one room, the kitchen, usually ends up being a disaster, because that's where all the staging happens for the packing and the getting ready to go. So by the time we grab everything up and go, yeah, it's just, that's how we are. My house is lived in. What can I say? My house is very homey, if you want to put it that way. It's not, okay, forget it. I was going to say, I'm not going to explain it. So I put these little s'mores out for treats, for your guests. Put those pictures behind the bar. I thought the brown wood tone and the white and the gray and the black frames, they all fit this theme very well. Of course, we're going to put in our chess table. We all know how I feel about the chess table, if you've been watching. And then putting in one of those little ceiling lights. I think the dining room and the kitchen, for the start of the home, I think these two areas are where you really set the tone for what you're going to be doing in the rest of the house, for the rest of the build. These colors, this atmosphere, this feeling that you're getting in this room. The kitchen, this dining area, the kitchen especially, that's the heart of the home. That's where I like to start. That's where you get your imagination going. That's where you get your vibe going. That's where I'm figuring out that these counters are wrong. I'll fix that in a second. But this is where you're going to get your inspiration from, is these rooms, these beginning rooms. Yeah, I know. I'm figuring out that these counters are wrong. You probably already knew the counters were wrong. It takes me a second to figure out that all of this is not going to work. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. Nothing, unlike in real life, nothing in The Sims is permanent. If you don't like your counter where your counter is, you don't like your toilet where your toilet is, you literally can just move it. Not like at my house where I want a new bathroom, but that's a whole nother subject. And yes, there we go. I'm gonna move the refrigerator too. Love the refrigerator though. This open type refrigerator. I'm actually waiting for them to maybe get the Sims team to maybe make one that has the talking screen on it now. That, tells you when you're out of milk, because I think that would be fun. So I was making all these switches here. I was able to actually put in a more of like a continental breakfast type thing going on with some cereal, and there's some rolls on the island over here, coffee, tea. So more Airbnb, something you would see in an Airbnb. And the refrigerator's right there, and they can see what they can have for breakfast. I'm gonna add some more lights over here just to brighten up this area. Get them right up in there. So you probably see during this video right now that the ceilings in this house, I don't know if you've caught that or not, but the ceilings in this house are currently white. They are not going to stay that way. In one of the upcoming videos, you'll see we are going to paint all of the ceilings black. They are pretty much going to match the walls. So I hope you like this, and I hope you stick around. Please remember, keep it creative, keep it cozy, and I'll see you for the next build.